There is a fascinating, almost tragic trap that modern builders constantly fall into.
Oh, yeah.
They become completely obsessed with chasing the magic of AI automation. They spend countless months building massive, intricate digital products in total isolation.
Right. Just totally cut off from the real world.
Exactly. But then they launch, only to discover absolutely nobody wants to buy them. Beat. Welcome to our deep dive exploration for today.
Glad to be here.
We are looking at a highly practical, totally hype-free roadmap for your business. The core mission today is hitting your first 100K in the year 2026. And we're going to look at how to properly use AI to actually pull this off.
Yeah, it is a completely grounded, reality-based approach to building. We start the journey by finding a highly specific, painful niche. Then we meticulously validate a compelling offer to solve that pain. And you actually have to get on real calls with human beings.
Right. And then only after that validation, you finally bring in the AI. You use the tools to radically scale your delivery of that solution.
Exactly. You are trying to scale the actual work, not the initial demand.
So to really understand making money with AI, we first need a solid framework. You really have to understand the 5 distinct phases of business growth.
Yeah, that context is incredibly crucial before touching any shiny new tools. Otherwise, you're just throwing darts in the dark.
Let's carefully unpack this big, audacious promise right at the beginning. Why is 100K a year the ultimate initial goal here?
Because it's fundamentally about securing undeniable proof from the market. It's not about achieving hypergrowth or, building some giant venture-backed startup. 100K gives you foundational freedom to make your own choices. It gives you the baseline stability to quit your day job safely.
It unequivocally proves that real people desperately want what you're selling.
Yes.
It's real.
Right, exactly. Before you hit that point, everything just feels completely uncertain. You're essentially just guessing and hoping your assumptions are somewhat correct. But once you hit that specific financial number, you have hard, undeniable evidence. You finally know with absolute certainty that the underlying business model works.
Beat. Let's clearly lay out these 5 critical phases of business growth. First, we have the ideation phase. That's where you figure out the concept.
Right.
Second is validation, where you aggressively test that concept in reality. Then you transition into momentum, followed by leverage, and finally, total freedom.
And most enthusiastic beginners completely fail right here at the very starting line.
Yeah.
They eagerly ask what their complex business will look like in 3 years, and they completely ignore the messy, unglamorous reality of their current phase.
Building the product first is an incredibly dangerous, expensive illusion. It's like stacking Lego blocks of data into a massive castle, only to find out your customer actually needed a simple bridge.
Oh, that's a great way to put it. Yeah, and it looks incredibly impressive to all of your builder friends.
Right, but they just needed a basic tool to cross a tiny puddle.
That tragic scenario happens constantly in the tech world right now.
So why do people consistently skip straight ahead to the leverage phase?
Well, because they're completely seduced by the endless hype surrounding these tools. The sheer speed of AI generation feels incredibly intoxicating to a builder. It is so much easier to play with tools than solve human problems. They desperately want the massive scale without going through the messy struggle.
So they fall in love with the tool, not the customer's actual problem.
Precisely. That is a mathematically guaranteed path to burning out and failing.
That brings us directly into phase 1, which is the ideation stage. We need to construct what we call a first draft offer.
Yeah, this is the exact moment where we clearly define our target niche.
And the underlying formula here is actually quite simple, but it requires deep thought. A niche equals a specific group of people plus a specific painful problem.
It's definitely not about trying to be helpful to absolutely everybody.
Right.
It requires a laser focus on one specific type of agonizing bottleneck.
We use a powerful mental process here called Diverge, Converge, and Emerge. First, you diverge, which means deliberately expanding your creative thinking process.
Yeah.
You generate 15 to 20 totally different niche ideas on a whiteboard.
Yeah, and you don't rigorously judge them yet or worry about the exact logistics. You just get them out of your head and onto the paper.
Then you converge, which means ruthlessly filtering down that massive list. You ask 3 crucial, uncompromising questions about every single idea. Do I actually like these people? Can I genuinely help them? And will they actually pay me?
That last question is absolutely vital to the survival of your business.
Yeah.
Some fascinating problems are sadly just not worth paying real money to solve.
So true. Then you experience the emerge stage. You pull exactly one highly validated idea forward to test in reality.
Right.
Then we meticulously build the first draft offer, which contains 6 core parts. We have the person, the problem, the promise, the plan, the product, and the price.
And notice carefully that the actual product is 5th on that sequential list.
Yeah.
You are fundamentally packaging the final transformation for the exhausted customer. You are absolutely not packaging the AI tool or the underlying technology.
Pete, I still wrestle with this myself, honestly. I've definitely spent weeks building shiny systems in a total vacuum before making a single actual sale.
Oh, totally.
I get so caught up tweaking prompt drift. You know, when an AI's output randomly changes or degrades over time, I focus on the tech instead of the client's actual pain.
We all do it because building things in isolation feels incredibly safe. Actively talking to the market and facing rejection feels incredibly risky and exposing.
But everyday people do not excitedly pull out their credit cards for prompts.
No, they don't.
They don't pay thousands of dollars for generic back-end AI features.
Exactly. They enthusiastically pay real money for significantly faster, higher quality work. They happily pay for better content that drives engagement and builds trust. They eagerly pay for more qualified leads showing up in their inbox.
How specific does the promise in this first draft offer really need to be?
Oh, it must be a crystal clear, highly measurable result for the end user. It has to tie directly to increasing money, saving time, or reducing agonizing stress.
Right.
It is never, ever just a vague promise about using AI to be better.
Got it. Sell the destination, not the AI airplane you used to get there.
That is the absolute perfect way to phrase that concept mentally.
Okay, so you have this perfectly mapped out offer sitting on your whiteboard, but an offer on a whiteboard is essentially just a neat little theory.
Yeah, exactly.
To find out if it's a business, it has to survive contact with reality.
And this is where we forcefully transition into phase 2, which is validation.
This critical phase absolutely requires getting on actual live discovery calls. You want to aim for 10 or more conversations with your target audience. The business firmly stops being a comfortable, hypothetical thought experiment right here.
It is historically the absolute hardest, most terrifying step for most analytical people.
We utilize 3 distinct conversation frames for these crucial discovery calls. The first psychological frame we use is simply called pure market research.
Yeah, this is a very low-pressure, highly conversational approach to gathering qualitative data. You are genuinely just trying to deeply understand their daily operational problems.
Right.
You are explicitly not pushing a hard sale or pitching your grand solution.
The second conversation frame we can deploy is called free coaching.
This is fun. You actually provide rapid, highly actionable, quick wins during this specific frame. This is the absolute perfect moment for quietly showing off your AI workflows.
Right. And you can solve a small problem for them in real time. You hop on a Zoom call, casually listen to their immediate operational struggle. Then you run their messy data through an AI workflow right in front of them.
Exactly. They get to see the magical finished result instantly, which builds massive credibility.
The third and final conversation frame is the direct sales call.
Yeah, this is the highly direct, completely transparent approach to doing business together. You actively try to close the deal and respectfully ask for their payment.
Right.
You exclusively use this frame when your internal confidence in the solution is incredibly high.
Beat. But getting on a live call with a half-finished theoretical idea sounds totally terrifying. Doesn't that heavily risk burning a potential bridge with a valuable contact?
It feels incredibly scary to expose your incomplete ideas, absolutely. But it genuinely doesn't burn any bridges with reasonable, intelligent professionals.
Right.
Yeah. Deliberate vulnerability actually builds immense, long-lasting trust with your potential early adopters. Listening carefully to their specific pain points makes them feel deeply respected. You're actively inviting them to help shape the ultimate perfect solution.
You are essentially making them an integral part of the creative process.
Exactly. Real messy human conversations clearly show you what people actually care deeply about. The raw market feedback actively helps you iteratively improve the core offer.
What is the true, undeniable signal that an offer is fully validated?
Well, validation is never just polite compliments from your encouraging peers or colleagues. It is not people smiling and saying you have a really fascinating, good idea.
Right.
It is exclusively when someone actually hands over real money to solve their problem.
Right. Money changes hands. Before that, it's just friendly feedback.
Friendly, encouraging feedback will unfortunately never pay your monthly rent obligations. Only tangible, undeniable revenue serves as real mathematical validation of your business idea. Sponsor. Insert placeholder for mid-roll ad read here.
Okay, we clearly know how to structure the conversation with these people now, but where do you actually find them in the vast digital ecosystem?
Good question.
And how does that eventually turn into a reliable 100K a year?
This specific challenge brings us deeply into the essential marketing phase. We typically focus on 3 primary sources of high-quality, targeted leads.
The first and often most overlooked source is your own existing personal network.
Yeah, this is almost always the fastest path to generating your very first dollar. The necessary interpersonal trust is already organically built into the existing relationship. You simply message past clients, former coworkers, or industry peers with your new offer.
The second highly reliable source of potential leads is organic content creation.
Right, so you consistently post deeply useful, highly actionable things for a very specific niche. The ultimate goal here is strict relevance over achieving massive viral fame.
Yeah.
You just want the absolute right 50 people paying close attention to your insights.
The third source involves reaching out directly to complete strangers online.
This is cold outreach, but you must focus entirely on being truly undeniably useful. You absolutely cannot be generic, automated, or obnoxiously spammy in your approach.
Definitely not.
You have to bring genuine, highly personalized insight to their specific business problems.
Let's carefully break down the actual math behind this financial goal. 100K a year mathematically breaks down to roughly 8.3K per month.
And when you view it that way, it immediately stops feeling like an unclimbable giant mountain. It simply becomes a highly actionable, easily trackable monthly revenue target.
We heavily look at providing high-ticket, deeply transformative services to achieve this quickly. You could literally just have 3 new clients paying you 3K every single month. Or you could easily run a small group of clients on 2K monthly retainers. 2-sec silence. Whoa! When you break it down to just 3 clients a month at 3K, it suddenly feels completely achievable. It demystifies the whole thing.
It really does profoundly shift your entire psychological approach to building. You absolutely do not need thousands of paying customers to change your life.
Right.
You do not need to go viral on social media and become highly famous. You literally just need a few really good, highly trusting clients every month.
Does selling a high-ticket service mean you have to be a world-class expert from day one?
Not at all. You just need to identify a highly valuable, extremely painful problem for a business. Then you just need a highly reliable AI-assisted way to deliver the result really well.
Value is driven by the size of the problem, not your resume.
Yeah, exactly. If you use your system to solve a $10,000 agonizing problem for a company, charging them $3,000 to fix it is an absolute no-brainer.
You did the math. You got on the scary call. You got the very first yes. What exactly happens next in this framework?
We immediately transition out of validation and firmly into phase 3, which is momentum.
Getting that very first sale provides the psychological proof that you need. Maintaining that momentum provides the financial stability your business requires to survive.
And this is the exact moment where AI finally shines incredibly brightly in this framework.
We relentlessly validate the human pain, first using basic unscalable methods. Then we finally use AI to deliver that exact same work significantly faster.
Right.
It dramatically improves the final outcomes and heavily reduces human error rates. It brilliantly handles massive scaling volume without ever losing your high baseline quality.
You simply repeat what financially worked during the messy validation phase. You quickly fix or abandon the specific processes that totally failed to deliver value. You heavily scale your internal delivery capacity with powerful automated AI tools.
It really shows how completely backwards the mainstream startup narrative is today.
Yeah, how so? Break that observation down a little bit more.
Everyone eagerly starts out by playing with the shiny new AI tool, but this logical roadmap clearly proves that AI is simply the powerful turbocharged engine.
Right.
You only install that massive engine after you have carefully built the sturdy chassis of human demand.
That is a genuinely great, highly visual way to look at the relationship. Without the sturdy chassis of validated demand, that massive AI engine just violently spins out of control.
So AI doesn't magically find the elusive product market fit for you.
No, it fundamentally cannot.
Right.
AI can brilliantly help you brainstorm creative ideas or rapidly draft the marketing copy. It can absolutely help you flawlessly deliver the final technical product to the client. But only a living, breathing human can tell you if an offer hurts enough to pay for.
AI scales the delivery, but humans validate the pain.
Precisely. Humans are, and likely always will be, the final, ultimate judges of true market value.
Beat. Let's slowly recap the core thesis we explored here today. Do not aggressively start your journey by building a complex digital product.
Please don't.
Start your journey by deeply solving a painful problem for a specific person.
Find the underserved niche. Package the transformative offer to solve their bottleneck.
Validate it on a messy human call. Get the very first dollar through the door. And then finally use AI to build massive, scalable momentum behind that proven offer.
It is a highly deliberate, logical sequence of unavoidable entrepreneurial events. It rigidly keeps you focused on what actually matters to the survival of your business.
We want to leave you with a highly actionable, totally free task right now. Sit down quietly and write down 15 specific niche ideas today. Just aggressively get them out of your head and onto a piece of paper.
Yeah.
Do not rigidly judge them or filter them just yet.
Deliberately diverge first to explore the possibilities, then carefully converge later to find the winner.
As AI inevitably makes building complex digital products totally effortless, the underlying tools will quickly become a basic commodity. In a wild world where absolutely anyone can seamlessly generate an app or a service in mere seconds, the only true competitive advantage left will be your persistent willingness to have a messy, human conversation to find out what people actually need. Out Tiro music.